after Spencer, so stay on the call.
I think this is the first time that we're starting at like the closest to 9:30.
That is very true.
That's insane.
Hey man, I'm on time. That's what I do.
It's never the guest. It's usually one of us.
It's usually me. That's what EJ wanted to say. That's what he. I'm usually somewhere doing something, bro. I try to stay real busy.
Bro, my fucking pods are all dead. I'm very upset.
And yeah, I just got the notification on YouTube.
I just DM'd you the link.
Yeah, I got just post.
Cool.
No.
Oh shoot, I totally just blinded that. I didn't know my flash was on.
Episode 6. Oh, yeah.
So would I like just put the link in my story or something? Cause
Yeah, like you see, if you like take a picture or something, there's like a little paper clip. You click that, paste the link I sent you, then it'll just pop up and people can like swipe up. You can just say like, "Come say hi."
yeah.
Word, word. Oh, by the way, how do you say your last name?
So yeah, it's pronounced Ponterado. Some
Ponterado.
people, yeah. Some people say like Ponteroto or something, or Pont. Some people like even say like they don't even like pay attention to the letter sometimes, and they say something like Pontanero or something because they just like don't know how to
That's
say
what I
it.
thought it was. That's how I
Ponterodo
read
would
it.
have been my first guess. Like just looking at it, that'd definitely been my first guess.
Yeah, it's Italian, so it's like a lot of T's and O's and stuff. So if you just
So,
look how it is, it's you can get it.
are you big into like Italian food?
Yeah, my pops loves cooking it, and I don't got no issues with that. We've loved it for since I was young. Uh, yeah, Italian food good. Everyone loves Italian cuisine, so
Oh, hell yeah. What's your favorite dish that your dad cooks?
he cooks a bunch of stuff. But I love his spaghetti and meatballs. Can't go wrong with that.
Never go
Um,
wrong with spaghetti.
yeah, you got to get like authentic Italian meatballs too. Like
Like
there's a whole
kind of like
preparation
spicy
involved.
sausage or
Oh yeah, he makes sausage too, spaghetti sausage and other stuff. Yeah, you gotta. There's like a whole preparation thing. Um, yeah, you gotta make sure you get all the spices and that you mold it the right way and stuff. Um, and it tastes real good. So
I'm not the best cook, I'll admit it.
I'm sorry about that. I was scouring for a jewel pod and I found it. Uh, Not my proudest hour, but an hour of mine nonetheless.
You were fiending.
Welcome to episode 6, everybody, of the EMU Club.
Nobody's watching yet, EJ.
Today we have, huh?
Nobody's watching yet.
Nobody's watching
We
yet?
don't have anybody in here.
Well, regardless.
they'll come, no problem. How many people y'all usually have like when you start up?
Last time we actually had a record. We had 17 in here at once.
That was kind of crazy. The last
Yeah, it got a
podcast
little
went
wild.
nutty.
We got Kim in here. Shout out to Kim. Kim is a
Kim is
frequent viewer.
already
You
in
feel me?
here.
All right, let's
Appreciate
start it up,
Kim.
man. Let's start things up. Welcome everybody to episode 6 of the EMU Club podcast.
Whoop whoop.
Special announcement from Spencer, real quick, about our clip contest. Spencer, you wanna let the people know what's going on?
Oh yeah, we'll get right into that because this is going in the highlight video anyways. So we have a Call of Duty clip contest going on for anybody that plays Call of Duty or video games in general. The rules are pretty simple. All patients have to just send a clip, and if you want to be able to, for us to view it, basically what you do is you just follow and subscribe to all of our social medias, our Reddit, Discord, our TikTok, our Twitter, our Instagram, our YouTube, obviously, which if you're in here, you should be subscribed. If you're not, you're a loser. Um, Clips just have to be 30 seconds long, and if you're going to be participating, just make sure to use EMU in your clan tag and send it to us via email that you will receive when you get on our Discord and you are following all social medias. And yeah,
And our
all
Discord is very lit, guys. It's very, very cool. So, come out, check it out, say hi.
for sure.
We can put the link in the description. And if you click our link tree and any of our socials, you can get there right now. But yeah, so today we have a very special guest, Jason, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on,
What's
Jason?
good, bro? Thanks for having me.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
being
you
here.
Eric, Spencer. Thanks for having me. This is like my one of my first like podcast really things, so I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of
Yeah,
course,
man,
man.
for sure.
Yeah, looking
You
forward.
wanna just tell the people a little about yourself?
Sure, no problem. My name is Jason.
Shout out JoJo. Shout out JoJo. Sorry about
Uh,
that.
my last name is Ponterado. I guess I'll start there. Uh, it's a unique last name. It's Italian. I'm half. One of the biggest things about me really is my cultural background. Um, uh, my name is Italian, so I'm half African American, half Italian on my father's side, and uh, my mother's a beautiful dark skinned woman. Um, so growing up, I always had a unique perspective um, in experiencing both cultures, and uh, you know, my mother made sure to expose us to me and my older brother to a lot of the critical Black history that a lot of Black youth um, definitely uh, have all grown up hearing and learning about, and that they need to know to really become our best selves. And so, despite like me being biracial, I had that critical foundation, which I thought was really important. Um, and also, the unique thing was that I was afforded the opportunity to go to like uh, fairly good, schools growing up. I went to it's not like we were rich or anything, but we lived in Riverdale in the Bronx, New York, which is like kind of a nice neighborhood. Um,
Shout out to the
I was
Bronx, man.
yeah, it's
Shout
exactly
out to
yeah,
the Bronx.
yeah. Most people when you think of the Bronx, they think like South Bronx and like the rich history with there and like how hip hop was born in the Bronx and everything. But we mainly live like in Riverdale where there's like it's fairly diverse, but there's a lot more white folks, which throughout history, if there's a higher amount of white folks, usually that's an indication um, of socio um, economic disparities and like and the fact that it'll be like a nicer neighborhood. Unfortunately, that kind of is the reality of where we are. Of course, we know there's a bunch of places where there's a lot of white people and it's not very affluent. But so anyway, that's what I kind of grew up and but even with that, my mom made sure to expose us to important history. And I like to say like my second home is like Harlem, New York. Um, because it just when I was young, my mother would take us there, take us to trips throughout, seeing all the rich history, going to our church, uh, which has a long history, and really just I began to have a love and a passion for Black culture and Black history and everything, and I fully embraced it early on. And I would see the injustices that go on in our society, um, go on in the world, and I would just immerse myself in studying history and uh, my own writings and stuff. And then that eventually, I knew what I wanted to do from that. Um, and then I was known kind of throughout my high school, which was it was actually a shift from the kind of schools I had been going to in Riverdale. It was I went to Mount St. Michael Academy, all boys school, and predominantly like 90% Black and Latino. Um,
How was that experience with like the all boys school? Did you like that?
you know, y- as much as like a young boy can enjoy that, I guess. You want to be with the girls and everything, but of course there's still benefits to that. You get to like really like go with your brothers and like uh you know really like grow to be um get some skills that you won't have to be like distracted with, you know going up around or like having girls to distract you in school and stuff. So but yeah, that was an interesting experience. And then so after that I went to my first college, the College of Mount St. Vincent. um I was a part of the class of 2017 at when I graduated high school. And then so yeah, I went to Mount St. Vincent, which was like a private school. Um and like it was fairly diverse, but yeah, it's like maybe majority white. We also call it PWI, of course, predominantly white institution. Um but I knew like upon going there that I wanted to uh really do something like that had to do with Black studies and like Black culture. So I started the Black Student Union there in my first semester. And you know there was a fair decent amount of like Black students uh at the school, and I was able to connect with a lot of them. But and like me and my team, who I eventually like was able to build an organization with, we were able to come up with a bunch of good events. But uh it wasn't we had a bunch of good ideas, but like it didn't seem to like have so much life that it was like could really go somewhere you know long term. um I think that's really because um I think just the environment wasn't really um I don't think there was like really like a energy for pursuing this sort of organization, or like really embracing uh the kind of things that we were uh really about and everything, like in terms of uh talking about Black history, having strong speakers, and having discussions and stuff. um uh Essentially it wasn't like um it was like not like an HBCU or a Howard or anything, like the kind of environment that you see there. So I knew that considering what I wanted to do in my career, um in terms of like being a journalist and like a public speaker, and be involved with racial justice, um I knew that I would have to be in an environment that would allow me to do that. So, uh, like at the halfway point after 2 years at Mount St. Vincent, I knew I had to transfer, and I was privileged to attend Howard University in the fall 2019, where I'm proud to say I'm still at. And
Shout
it's
out to
been
Howard. Shout out to all the
yeah,
HU folks out here. So
yeah,
that's interesting
HU,
though. So you said you're pursuing journalism, right?
yeah.
Like, how do you feel about kind of like the fake news narrative that just kind of surrounds um, the whole journalism field? What do you think about that?
Yeah, bro. Everything that's come about with like Trumpism, and really starting in 2015, and that whole, you know, constant attack on the free press and media. Uh, it's the kind of thing that's like these sorts of things where like the term fake news, of course, like got popular with Trump and in recent years, but that kind of thing has existed like complete, distrust of, and like uh, being annoyed with the media and stuff among certain populations has existed for years. Um, and the truth is that, you know, a lot of people don't like the direction of America in terms of how progressive it's becoming. So, and this, you can see this 30 years ago, you can see this 50 years ago in the civil rights movement, even many, many years before that. Like, there's just a complete, you know, rejection of the fact that, and of course, like the media is not like, it's never perfect at all, but particularly when you talk about like that fake news and everything, there's just populations of people that uh they feel that it's the media is, um by focusing on, the changing America and getting away from the changing of the guard in terms of, you know how society used to be with, uh you know all white everything. They they don't like that sort of change, and anything that really is highlighting, um issues in terms of race and, um critical stories that they might not be comfortable about, they just want to reject it entirely. um you know but to that point, media, has always, been very, in a general sense, they'll they'll highlight things that are, popular with society. So they'll um if it's about, you know demonizing a certain group of people, then oftentimes that's what they'll do. um Throughout media, one of the biggest problems has been, you know having a problematic, portrayal of, African Americans in terms of, covering crime and everything. um and
Yeah.
we see that today. You could probably go to a local news channel and see it for yourself. um uh and there's nothing wrong with, like covering what's happening and everything, but there's just a long history of, um disproportionately covering, uh certain things in a negative light with regards to African Americans. um and So that's, one of the main things with that. But back to your question about like fake news and everything. um this has been like, in a lot of ways, it's like a very, a really like reinvigorating time for a journalist, because our job is, like so much more important, and to tell the truth and expose, and not, to expose the lies and the the fallacies of, any administration. um and Regardless of how much people want to like silence that, that's what dictators, that's what they've always tried to do: silence the media. You see it, throughout history. um don't listen to them, listen to me. uh you know but uh the free press, it's a major institution, and it's like, uh more important and more powerful really than it's ever been, um because of this tug of war, because of like, and I think more people are intelligent now to see what's happening, like with the age old tactics that like people like Trump and stuff try to use. And so in that regard, I think, uh it's more popular than it's ever been. And not more popular, but there's more energy and like, um support for, well, at least among journalists, to continue doing the work that, we do and everything, because it needs to be, it's as critical as anything to, yeah.
Do you think some journalists kind of get it wrong in some aspects?
Most definitely. Uh and I don't want to like single out anything. You see it across the board, but, um and to your question, journalists, uh in terms of like stories and stuff, uh a lot of them can have a slant and stuff, and they won't, um want to give the true objective, facts of it. Um, but uh, I think when you look at like I think any journalist, of course, in terms of like certain details, is entitled to a couple mistakes. And in terms of if you're making a bunch of them, then uh, you probably definitely need to like brush up on your skills before you keep having like this major platform to put out news. But um, everywhere like journalists is entitled to make a couple like errors in terms of that, in terms of stuff like that. But I think also the problem with modern news is that um one of the major issues is that it is so divisive. Not the news itself, but like the lines across where journalists kind of align themselves. Um, you have the right and Fox and Newsmax and ONA. I think it's ONN or something. I think it's a new place. I don't know. Um, but yeah, and then you have uh, and you have of course the left as well. Uh, with like MSNBC and things like that. But I think that it's really like there's so much partisan news and everything, and that's kind of really like where the root of media comes from. Like with newspapers, they started out being um, like newspapers would be released, and they were for one political position or another, and then the audiences of that side just bought those papers and everything. Objective journalism kind of came beyond that after that point, but in this political climate when there's such culture wars being used by the right uh, in an attempt to like maintain power. There's a lot of constant destructive news that's being put out with those news sources, quote unquote news sources. They're not news; they're fake news, as you brought up earlier. But and I don't want to paint say everything is black or white, but uh, we're not dumb. We can tell that the kind of stuff that Fox puts out um, is like riddled with lies and but
Could you go both
uh
ways with that? That other news media sources, because obviously Fox News is more hindered to the right than CNN and NBC and CBS has its own news channel, right?
Who?
CBS.
yeah,
Yeah, I
all
think you
like
have
the
NSNBC, right?
yeah
Or is that
I
the
guess
same thing?
so. But those are more viewed towards like leftist. So I think in like some people's eyes, I'm trying to see both sides here. But
Hmm.
you could look at it as you've got your right-winged source of media and you've got your left-wing source of media in a sense because as America today, obviously we're more divided than ever, truthfully, since the Civil War, in my opinion.
that's a good analysis. And yeah, that's really where the problem uh really comes in because um when you have a sort of ideology and it's rooted in like not having any facts and just stirring culture wars and obscuring truth about where we are in society, where we have been in history, and what the reality is among what's happening, among who's really in charge, the the rich white establishment uh, elite, which are trying to hold on to their power, which is the reason why um, the reason why they don't like the idea of a changing America in terms of that it's really the white supremacy power structure. They've used they want to they don't like the idea of fair taxing for them. They don't like the idea of uh, a more uh, a more equal society. So they peddle out things to the Republican uh, news and the Republican sources and stuff to try to stir up these culture wars um, to make it seem as if you know it really comes down to this thing called whiteness and the rootness of that really comes back in hundreds and hundreds of years ago with slavery. Um, it was established as such. Before slavery, there wasn't so much, uh, or I should say, whiteness has always been an established thing among the rich whites to divide the poor whites and African Americans, um, and it was used as such to if you to the idea is for these poor whites, if you have this imaginary thing called whiteness, then you'll always have an important status in society, even though the reality is that they're no different than, in terms of economic reality, in terms of socioeconomic status, no different than the black folks. But they use this to divide. Uh, they use this uh, mentality as a form of psychological warfare to forever um, divide the true people who truly had the actual power in numbers and could override that rich elite power structure. And they knew they had to, peddle that lie to the poor whites to forever view the blacks as inferior, so that they can uphold that white supremacist power structure. And that's existed all throughout history. It was the root of why there was so much um, you know, passion on the side of the South, um, pure evil racism energy, honestly,
Well, the South was
to
Democrat.
maintain. Exactly, yeah, the South was Democrat and the North were Republicans. Um, and uh, there's the reason why uh, they had such an intent to keep things the way they had been, even though a lot of them didn't even own slaves. A lot of the poor whites in the South, but that's one of the major elements. Um, but then that's carried out throughout to this day, and it's really because of that things in society have there hasn't really been able to be the full will of the people to really change the power structure that exists in this society. And it's still a caste system with African Americans being discriminated and unable to attain uh, true societal equality, and being able to truly be in a system where African Americans can uh, pursue their full human potential. Um, but actually, to your point, bro, uh, I'm glad you brought that up because about how the South was Democrat at that time
Mhm.
and the North Republicans, because there's definitely a lot of misunderstanding to this point about when people say, you know, uh, the Democrats have a history of being racist, and the Republicans have a history of being for Black people and being uh, truly for equality and things like that sort.
Yeah.
That's 100% with regards to the history of the specific parties, Democrat and Republican. That's 100% the case.
Mhm.
Um, uh, uh, but of course, we know the true fact of the matter is that the parties of that time are not the parties of um, 150 years since, 150 plus years
How so?
after that. Uh, there's a lot of history that explains that thoroughly. I view myself as a student, first and foremost, of Dr. Greg Carr, head of Africana Studies at Howard University.
Mhm.
Um, watch all of his videos.
Shout out Dr.
All
Carr, man. Shout out Dr. Carr.
Well, he is Spencer, bro. You gotta watch his stuff. The smartest dude probably on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Um, and I've like listened to a lot of academics and stuff. Um, and no one's been able to really um, uh, capture everything the way he has in terms of history and where we are in society, and explaining it in full circle and why it's important and everything. And and he does it in a way that makes everything else of what everyone's saying now. It puts it in full context. It puts it really exposes all the idiocy that you hear among people who have a big microphone today. Um, uh, he definitely deserves to be like shown throughout the world. He should be on all the mainstream news, but he'll be considered too radical or too uh, and uh, that's a kind of term that they use um to try to like make it seem as if uh, wanting true equality is something that is far too extreme or whatever it is, and it's nothing about it is extreme. Um, uh, Acknowledging the truth of history and acknowledging where we are, nothing about that is too extreme or problematic. But anyway, I brought him up because uh, he literally went through this. He has a YouTube show every Saturday at 12 o'clock with journalist Karen Hunter, and it's called In Class with Carr, and uh, they've been doing it since the pandemic started, and it just kept growing. It's like 2 hours of just incredible knowledge that he spills out. It's like a discussion kind of thing. Um, they essentially focus on what's happening in society today, and uh, it's all about um, black liberation. Um, um, and when I say that, that's our uh, that's the aim of um, Dr. Carr's work and the critical work that needs to be done. So that's the aim in which the stories that he puts out or the conversations that he has. Um, um, for instance, like the January 6th insurrection, he'll explain thoroughly the history behind that white nationalism and the white supremacy behind that, and what the moment that we're in and what it means, the significance behind it. Um, but and he does it in such a great way. But I brought him up because a couple episodes ago he really went through the full history of both parties, and so he had a good analysis. Uh, a lot of understandings of it, including me, have been really that um, we've known that the Democrat and Republican of the 19th century versus today are the opposites of where they were.
How so?
Um,
Like when did it change? Like when
yeah,
was
yeah,
when
yeah,
was the date that, or not the date, but let's say like specific 10-year period where it kind of shifted.
definitely. So yeah, uh, so yeah, my understanding of it had always been somewhere along the lines of um the turning of the 20th century is where this is where what I come in thinking um, around the turn of the 20th century um, uh, that there began to be the opposite shift, and then really with FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and how uh, for the people and like liberal he was with what had happened with the Great Depression and the kind of the um, I think it was the New Deal that he the kinds of legislation that he pushed for and passed, which really cemented um, the difference in uh, where the parties were in terms of giving aid to the people versus being more conservative. Um, and then with further like it almost the final nail in the coffin kind of was would have been like the civil rights movement with once because a lot of the black people had been Republicans by the point because uh well let's go to like the 1960 election, JFK versus Richard Nixon. There had actually been a so there had been still a ton of Democrats who were racist in the South, and they didn't like the idea of the civil rights movement at all. Um, and the Republicans, uh,
They were for it. They were behind Martin Luther King, who was also a Republican at the time.
good point. So yeah, the thing with that was there had been a lot of black folks who had carried on from the South, or no, who had carried on from
The North, yeah,
staying
of
in that
like the
tradition.
Union.
Yeah, they knew that Republicans were the party of emancipation, and had stayed with the party. And then really when JFK was the first person to embrace Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And embrace the civil rights movement, and support it and push for it, and Nixon was essentially silent. That really was the shift, in terms of many more black folks becoming Democrats, and then that really cemented where the parties were since. Um, but Dr. Carr actually broke it down uh, more uh, historical, in terms of really what the catalysts of that shifts were. So the Republicans had always been about, you know, big business and stuff,
Mhm.
and the Democrats were the party of like the poor white people, the conservatives, the South, and everything. This is like the 19th century, um, and then so Lincoln and them who were Republicans, uh, they had been having issues with the South, and then the other thing he brings up is that political parties, if they have like a sort of aim, they'll embrace whatever the um. Well, I'll just go over to you had, Lincoln, and the Republicans wanting to really become get more business in the South and become bigger corporate giants in there. Um, uh, and what had happened was, so they knew that to essentially, you know, gain power in that, uh, they couldn't divide and be the Confederacy versus the Union. So they began to, black folks joined with the cause, of course, because they wanted freedom. Um, but essentially, so they wanted uh, black folks to be in the South so they could have um, uh, a new class of folks in the South, and then Republicans mm, could essentially, make money in the South with this new class of people. Um, and then beyond that, when the Great Migration happened in the early 20th century, um, and black folks were moving out of the South because of how horrible the conditions were, how racist the reality was. Um, at that point, Republicans uh, didn't like that, of course, because they were essentially supporting black folks gaining equality and everything, if it meant that they were staying in the South.
Yeah.
Um, and so once that started to happen, then they started to, you know, that's essentially when the ball started rolling for the shift. Um, and then, of course, then years later, JFK and the Civil Rights Movement, and then Republicans essentially became the party of the poor whites in the South, and still the big elites, who were actually in charge of everything. So they used the culture war and the fallacy of white nationalism, um, to essentially keep themselves in power. Um, uh, so you had things like Ronald Reagan, and you know, we're gonna this sort of like, it was the "Make America Great Again" sort of message before that, before it existed. The kind of thing where we're gonna return to a sense of uh, power and dominance. Um, we're gonna return to the real America and stuff, following all the years of what was happening with the civil rights movement, what was happening in the 60s and 70s. There was a rejection of that. We need to get back to what America really is, essentially uh, white supremacist power structure. So there was this huge support for that, and that political power, that political movement. Um,
You said
and
that was
then
Ronald Reagan's?
yeah,
So what I understood from Ronald Reagan is it wasn't so much as getting back to slavery and being like where blacks are inferior to whites type of racism. I
But they
took
wouldn't say that. Yeah.
No, yeah, they didn't say that, but I don't think that he meant
They
that when
wouldn't.
he said going back to the America that we need to be, because it was more of the he was referring to the Constitution at that time when it said freedom and equality and justice for all. So he was, I think, referring to getting equality for everyone because Ronald Reagan was a good president. Like, he wanted us to be at the top in the world, not really at the bottom of the leaderboard, so to speak. Like, he wanted our literacy rate to go up. He wanted unemployment to go down for black communities and white communities. And he was trying to make jobs in America.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Um, the other thing, like, well, just to like what you said about him being a great president, I think a lot of people feel differently. A lot of people would not agree with that.
Okay.
Particularly if you ask African Americans and how their existence was during the whole '80s and everything. I was literally reading something earlier, um, uh, about how essentially the war on drugs really started at the helm of Reagan, um, and what he was pushing for with his 1984 bills. Uh, I gotta like brush up more on the specific
Yeah.
legislation, but uh, that whole um, there's a lot of there's a lot of that whole thing of trickle down economics, where the idea that if you keep the corporations being rich and powerful, that somehow that helps the poor and the working class. Um, uh, that's the kind of tactic that those that are trying to stay in power would use to, um, you know, just um, but you move beyond that. You get to you know, President Obama's election in 2008. Uh, you know, that was really a result of a changing America and a result of folks wanting, um, a new vision for America. Um, uh, it was still predicated on like a lot of like white moderates and those saying, sure, this seems like a uh, clean cut black politician. I could support him.
He was a people
Um,
person.
then yeah, President Obama, awesome. In
He
terms
knew
of
how to speak to
person,
yeah, he knew how to speak to the American people in a way that we felt he was one of us.
yeah.
But he
Um,
didn't so much as do the political side of things as some people would say that they wanted him to do. Because his healthcare act with Obamacare was a complete mess. Like it was awful. I think when the site first went live, it didn't even work. Like you couldn't even get onto it.
yeah.
So it was tough for some people to get behind him politically wise, but he was probably one of our best people president. Like he knew how to speak to us. It's not that he told us what we wanted to hear, it was more of like he knew how to tell us what we needed to hear type of thing. Like he was a really good president in that aspect of speaking to us.
Sure, I hear what you're saying in terms of like, well, the thing I brought up with President Obama, you had 8 years of President Obama, and you saw this complete um, the rise of the Tea Party. You saw the rise of this white nationalism rejection movement, and then after that, of course, you had as a result of that manifested the the person who has no uh, business being a political leader at all, other than being a demagogue, Trump, and that was because he was speaking to that white nationalism fear and everything um, in 2016, um, and then his whole election was not predicated on truly where the majority of Americans, in terms of the majority of Americans supporting him. His entire election was predicated on 40% of the population not voting. Had they had voted, had there not been record low turnout in a lot of these swing states, Secretary Clinton would be our president now, or no, or perhaps now still. Yeah, because she probably would have got reelected in 2020. But uh, so yeah, that was really and I think that was one of those periods in history where it was predicated on the minority. Um, Once again, throughout history, getting to decide the political direction of the majority. And I think that was really a matter of people had perceived this, this new period with President Obama's election that you wouldn't have to worry essentially about um, the kind of idiocy of uh, having anything related to Trump and what he stood for, and that kind of political culture warfare positions that he had, um, and that the Republican Party entirely has become the white nationalist party,
I wouldn't say
that
that.
they that they've come to embrace, or that they've come to just on the blatantly uh, uh, become the party of. But at that time, the majority didn't vote. They didn't perceive that would be a reality, and then uh, that's really what what happened. He won the election um, by a very narrow margin. But then, of course, we saw in this past election, uh, with uh, especially with the expansion of voting, and it's not even really a truly remarkable legislative um, update that's happened with the mail-in voting, because that's always existed. Uh, but effectively, with that expanding more encouragement among people to vote, we saw the actual will of the people, um, with President Biden getting 8 million more votes, and winning the um, the election. And and now what we're seeing, these horrendous voter suppression laws as a result of the will of the people being shown. They're fearful of losing their power, and they put Jim Crow. They're trying to enact Jim Crow level laws in Georgia,
What
and
were those?
uh,
What are those
yeah,
called? The laws in Georgia? Because I live in Georgia and I'm
oh, that's
probably
great.
one of the least political like people. Like I'm more of a I like to see both sides type. I'm moderate as hell probably. Like I see the good in things that presidents do and then I see the bad as well. Like I'm not really a
Again,
I'm not a dick rider in that sense.
like any good as astute person would do. That's a good thing. Yeah, you should
I'm
never
really
like
huge on
fully.
trying to see both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
Because like with Trump, I think where he lost a lot of people was when it was, I'm not sure if it was the first or second debate, but when he did not condemn white supremacy, I think
at a
that
moment.
I
Yeah,
think that's where a lot of people were like, okay, like what the hell? And even though he has condemned white supremacy before on multiple other social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram. He has videos up where he literally says, I do not, he was like, I condemn white supremacy. Like, I do not associate myself with the KKK. He said it multiple times. And
yeah,
I
in the
think,
most scripted way. Yeah,
so
but
like where I kind of saw it with him, I was trying to see like the good in it because I didn't want to think that he was a bigot racist president, but trying to see the good in it. He had said it so many times and people have kind of put this prejudice statement against him and he was kind of fed up with it and annoyed at that point. It would almost be like someone calling me racist over and over again, but I do a podcast with EJ who is a minority. So it's like what like that makes no
you can
sense.
say it, bro. He's black.
Like
Minority.
it makes no sense. Like so if I would kept constantly be called racist, but I talk and communicate with black people on a daily basis. I don't see color, I see people. It could get annoying in that sense. So I think he was more annoyed, but he really chose the wrong time to not say it. And I think that was all on him. And then when he went after Biden's sons, I think that was that really fucked up a lot of people too, because that fucked with me. Like, you don't bring kids into it.
Yeah, especially who his son also passed away. So
Fighting
yeah,
for
that
us. He was in the military, literally overseas. So that he fucked up there too.
yeah, he showed his like lack of humanity, really just pure
Yeah.
political attack anything at any cost. That's always what he had done though.
And it had
That's
worked for him for a little bit, but it didn't work that night because all eyes were on him on that first debate.
yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I remember watching those debates live.
I only
When you
watched the
to
first one.
certain,
It's the only one I needed to watch.
yeah, exactly, and that's what a lot of people felt. Uh, you only need to watch like one thing to really see the truth of who these people were. And Trump showed his complete dereliction of being a good human being time and time again. But yeah, to your point. But also yeah, he had when you're dealing in the kind of waters he has, to like what you said, it worked for him. Most definitely, it could work because when you're playing to a certain base and you're playing to certain ideals and certain ideologies, it doesn't matter if you're a good person at all. That's really not a um, it's really predicated on uh, how not good of a human being you could be, honestly.
Yes, on
But
national television.
yeah, particularly when you're dealing with the white nationalism and what he was trying to what he was trying to appeal to, that kind of get out of here with this racism, it's not real type of thing. Um, uh, and that worked for his base, of course. We saw that thoroughly, and it's still working now with the majority of Republicans basically believing that there was any fraud in the election when it was like factually stated that it was the most secure. um, and uh, even with that truth, there's always been voter suppression. Not to Definitely not to the degree that Republicans are attempting to do now with these bills. This is yeah, it hasn't been this like blatant and absurd since Jim Crow, but even with like the most secure election, there were still problematic things in terms of uh, African Americans having access to voting, um, and it was on record. There were record levels of it in 2016 reported as well, um, and it really there's been a long history of that with uh, attempts and uh, things done by Republicans since the Civil Rights Movement, since the Fair Housing Act, or not the Fair Housing Act, excuse me, the Voting Rights Act of '65. Um, since that, there's been a lot of gerrymandering, and a
Yes.
ton of uh, yeah, a ton of uh, you know bit by bit um, attempts to strip African Americans of voting rights.
I
Um,
think minorities in general of voting
most definitely.
rights,
Well,
because Latinos
they're
had
not
a
gonna,
tough time too.
yeah, they're not gonna like really present the bills that they and the kind of like restrictions and new laws they put. They're not gonna say you need to be black to do this. It really is usually uh, essentially just um, in areas with black people and other minorities, as you say, like Latinos as well, um, uh, and other people of color, as you brought up. But yeah, what we're seeing with these voter suppression laws now, where and this is just one of the things that's been gotten a lot of the coverage, like the the ID requirements and things like that. That's just like one of the first elements. That's one the things that people brought up. But that on the face of it, the idea that you would need to, you know, I have to look more deeply into like the specifics of it, but the idea that um, you need these certain forms of ID that people in certain areas and certain um, uh, more urban areas, metro areas where they don't have a use for those, and then all of a sudden requiring it, um, uh, which would require them to like travel um, to other places to try to or to travel outside of their jurisdictions to get it. Um, um, things like that, making it illegal to hand out food and water to long lines when literally things like that should be encouraged so that you encourage people to stay in line to vote. Uh, it's like right in line with the kind of vagrancy laws that um, at the time the Democrats had put in place uh, in the South to prevent blacks from voting. Uh, charging people with vagrancy uh, when they're literally just existing, charging them with any sort of thing to essentially uh, arrest and put and imprison black folks. Um, and there's so much more that's being done with these voter suppression laws, but those are two at the top of my head. But and it's happening. Georgia is really just the starting point for it right now, considering that the shock they had with it turning blue. Um, uh, but you're gonna see it throughout the South, and you're gonna see it even attempted in like uh, states that aren't in the South that have like the swing states and stuff. Anywhere where there's like Republican legislatures, they'll attempt to try to pass these laws. But that's why the John Lewis bill in Congress is so uh, essential and is needed, and why it's needed. Why the Democratic majority actually uses the power that they were given, and not you know play footsie with the Republicans or whatever, because they wouldn't do that for you. Um, that it's important that they use the power that the American people gave them, um, and eliminate the filibuster and pass these bills, um, as well as all the other important legislation that's needed. Otherwise, they'll implement these purely corrupt, cheating tactics, and they'll have an advantage to win back some states. So
Yeah, I think that's really well said, Jason.
sorry, bro. Yeah, I know I went on. But you
Yeah,
said,
man,
yeah. I
it's
was thinking
all
about what you
good.
were saying about like if there's anything you want to get off your chest, and that's been one of the top things on my head and that I've been thinking about the voter suppression and everything.
Chilling, man. Gotta
Um,
get
Yeah,
your
I'm sure
voice
you're
out
not the
there.
only one
yeah, it's
out
got
there
to be
thinking
focused.
about it.
Yeah,
We
there needs
definitely
to be
thank
a
you for
spotlight on it.
coming
Yeah.
on tonight, man. We're about to transition over to our second guest of the night.
All right.
So make sure to go follow Jason on your socials. You want to plug yourself
Yeah,
up real
Jason,
quick?
plug yourself.
Most definitely. So you can follow me on Instagram at uh I still haven't done like those cool like little username things that everyone else has.
Yeah,
It's literally just my name. But
you're chilling.
yeah, you could reach me at Ponterotto. It's at PONTEROTTO, and you'll find me there on Instagram. And
Cool.
so yeah,
Awesome. We
thanks a
appreciate
lot
you
for having
coming
me, bro.
on, man.
We really do, man. It's a great
Thanks, bro.
conversation. We got to have you on again sometime.
Thanks,
For
guys.
sure.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
Nice to
dog.
meet you, Spencer.
Nice to meet you too, Jason. Have a good night.
Have a
You
great
too,
night.
bro. Have a good one.
Who's on next?
So next on, we have a very special guest. Uh, Spencer, you know him well,
Oh
or well enough.
no.
Bilal Chapman, aka
Bilal's on
B.
here? No
We got
shot.
Bilal in here. We do,
No
we
way you
do, we
got
do.
B on here, bro.
We got B on here. He's about to join right now. Actually, yeah. So just a little bit about him. We went to school together. Uh, you know, and we were really looking forward to having this good conversation. Um, just waiting, or what are we doing? Okay, yeah. So he's gonna join right now. Um, just a quick intermission, guys. So, if you're still here, drop something in the chat. Make sure you're subscribed. We have a very special guest, Jason Little, coming on this Thursday, um, and that should be very, very interesting. B, is that you?
Yeah, what's the word? What's good, bro?
Hey, man, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. So everybody, this is Bilal Chapman coming on right now, coming up from the north side, Connecticut. We can't see you, man. Where'd you go?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just getting everything straight. I'm just checking in on my boy. Why can't you see me?
Oh, I can see you now. You just were on the camera.
Oh, shit.
Yo, what up,
Word,
B?
word.
We're allowed to smoke up here, right?
Yeah, if you want
Yeah,
to.
man, do what you gotta do.
Alright. I don't want to get niggas banned or anything.
I don't think you can get banned on YouTube for that anymore. You're from
Yeah.
Cali, right? Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah. So, EJ, what made you? What's going on with this? Put me on. I didn't know you were doing this.
Yeah, man, this is episode 6 of the EMU Club. It's a podcast.
Six.
Episode 6. Yes, we actually just
wow.
hit 30 subs.
It's an honor. Thank you for having me on the 6th episode.
Of course.
Yes, of course. Anytime. It's our pleasure. So yeah, essentially we're just, having discussions with different people and more interesting people every week. And we just try to have, real conversations, keep it honest, open. And EMU stands for Euphoric Moments Uncensored. So, we're uncensored. We're not gonna, stop you from saying anything you want to say. And we're just providing a platform for people to speak their mind and have fun.
Actual
that.
statement.
Yeah. So do you want to tell people a little about yourself?
Oh, there's really not much I can say unless really you just gotta know me. Really.
Well, what do you want the viewers to know about you?
Oh, nothing really. If you guys want to see me more, then let my friend here, EJ, knows, and we'll make that happen. You know what I be doing, but I just be getting money and staying out the way. I be chilling.
Getting money, staying out the way.
What's your main source of income right now?
My main source right now, I work for a state job. I work for the state. I work at a nursing home. So I take care of old rich people.
Oh, bet.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's just first income.
Are you in stocks or anything?
I was doing stocks, but that shit I missed the fucking jump. I missed the jump on the stocks. That was the real bummer, but I got back on. I'm still doing stocks right now. I was just looking at Tesla, but I haven't really pushed the gas on stocks really. I just been really paying attention and looking really.
You've been learning.
Yeah. Because my best friend does stocks, and 2 months ago he made $2K off the big jump that stocks had. So that really got my attention.
There's definitely some money to be made. You definitely can't buy in right now.
Yeah, right.
It is not a buy-in market right now. If you didn't buy in at the beginning of April, please do not buy into stocks at the moment.
Please don't buy it now. Don't do it. You'll be an angry person. Don't do it.
You're just gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna lose a lot of money.
I don't know. I think it depends on what you have. I think it's there's a lot of opportunity in some of the smaller stocks.
It's definitely a part of knowing your shit. But if you're just hopping into it, I suggest that you
wait until that shit crashes real quick.
Learn that shit, because first when I started doing it, I was just all right, bet I'm gonna just pick a stock and hopefully I'm gonna make money. It doesn't work like that. You really have to study the stocks every day.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't do that. I just kind of take advice from Reddit and whatever Reddit says.
Bro,
my man's on Reddit.
It's worked out for me, man. People do their own due diligence on all the stocks, and they just post all the research. So I don't even bother reading. I just buy whatever they post the diligence on.
You're basically just walking to a random person and saying, "I hope you make me money. Here you go."
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Well, someone actually made on Reddit. It was really interesting. They made a list of the stocks that were called out on Wall Street bets by like repeat users, and they wrote what percent gain they've had across all the stocks that they've called out. And I think the top guy had like over 2,000 percent returns, and like the bottom guy had like a 200% return. So I mean, people on there like they know what they're talking about. They just come on there to show their knowledge and share with everybody else.
Okay. That seems actually pretty valid. Me, I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. You're confident.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like Wolf of Wall Street said, it's fugazi, it's fugazi. No one knows if the stock's going up or
Like
down.
gazy as hell. They be lying to people, bro.
If you see GME, it literally went up to I think over 400, and then instantly bombed down to like under 200. And
Yeah, because
you
people
know, if
sold
you
out
didn't
of
sell
it.
at the peak, huh?
People sold out of it hella fast.
Yeah, I mean, I would have had a stop loss on there at some point, especially if I saw it going up like that. I would definitely have had a stop loss. I got in really late. I got in at like 350 and I sold. No, I got in at 344 and I sold at 350. Luckily, back during like the first jump. Um, and I didn't know if it was gonna go back up or not. And it turned out it did go back up, but you never know. It could have easily not went back up at all. So yeah, cryptos are really where it's at, man.
Really? You told me about that, and I don't know. I can't really. I might have to just. You might have to just be my mentor or something, because
Cryptos are the new wave, B. Cryptos are the new wave.
Well, what's your hesitation about cryptos?
I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
All right.
Well, what do you need to know? You know what I mean?
I don't know. When you first told me about crypto, I looked up what you were talking about. That shit just looked like Chinese to me.
Well, let's look at the prices right now, right? Bitcoin right now is at $63,000 for one Bitcoin. $63,217 at the time of this speaking.
Okay.
So I bought Bitcoin when it was under $10,000. I bought it a few years ago. So that's a lot of return.
Just a little bit.
If I ask, what is it at like right now?
What is it right now? It's at 63,000.
Yeah, Bitcoin's at 63,000. If you wanted to buy into Bitcoin right now, if you wanted to buy a share, it's 63,000 a share. Wow. So EJ bought some shares when it was under 10 grand. So that's all you got to know.
Yeah.
That's all you got to know. That's all you got to know.
That's not the only thing that happened like that. Ethereum right now is at let me see. Is Ethereum's at $2,291.
When did you buy in there, EJ?
I bought an Ethereum under 300. So those are some good returns. Stuff like Compound. I bought Compound token under 200. Now it just kissed like 500 the other day. And stuff like Bitcoin Vault. That was a coin that I really was believing in. They're supposed to be like the first coin where you could get a refund for a transaction. It went up to 400, and then I didn't sell, and now it's down to 50. It doesn't look like it's gonna go back up either. So
have you looked into NFTs, B?
No, I have not. What is that?
Bro,
that sounds pretty interesting.
EJ explained it to me like a little bit, and then you know who Gary V is?
Who?
Gary V. He's like this.
No.
Alright, so he's like this pretty big entrepreneur. Like his main goal is to buy the jets or whatever. He does a whole lot of e-commerce, and he has his own wine company. He's a pretty big guy, and he's like super into like the Bitcoin NFT stage now. And he kind of explained NFTs as like, have you ever bought anything on a video game, like on Fortnite?
Yeah.
So you know how you used your real money to buy the in-game money?
Yeah.
That in-game money is an NFT that you can spend in that general section. So like companies will be making their own currency NFT for you to spend there. And so depending on how many people buy so many of like the NFT currency pieces for like let's say Amazon is how I guess, demanding it is to have it and how much money it will be worth to have like 1 or 2 coins in it.
Yeah, and there's actually an interesting strategy. If you're watching this right now, you're getting some special sauce,
Oh,
right?
you're getting
So
huge
let's say
sauce.
you have $100,000 theoretically, right? Take that $100,000, make your own NFT, buy it for $100,000. Now your NFT is worth $100,000, but you sold it to yourself. So you still have the $100,000, and then now people will buy it. Even if they bought it for $10,000 at a 90% discount, now you just made $10,000 because you artificially inflated the price of your NFT.
Shit.
And you can kind of do that with any amount. If you buy it from yourself at $100 and someone buys it for $10, you just made $10 when before you might not have sold it at all. But it's kind of like the FOMO thing, where if you buy it, you kind of validate that it's worth something. You know what I mean? If it's worth it to you, then why is it not worth it to me, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's a big market. Like some of them are selling. I think the NBA really did a good job. Have you seen that, Spencer?
No, not
The
yet.
NBA started
Did they start their
selling
own NFT?
highlights. They started selling highlight NFTs.
What?
So like top NBA highlights of all time, they started making NFTs for those, and some of them are selling for like 3, 4, 5 million. It's actually pretty crazy that they actually got on there and got on that wave so fast. It's really impressive. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's a few sites you can go on and go on Canva. You could make a graphic of anything and you can post it and essentially just gets added to the blockchain through smart contracts. And you can have an NFT posted tonight. Whether it sells or not, that's different.
So
That's
we could
more
have
up
an
to you.
EMU NFT?
Yeah, we're working on the EMU NFT right now, actually. So stay tuned. Look out for that.
What?
It's gonna
Insider.
follow
Insider.
insider trading, not insider trading. We don't do insider trading. Not insider trading, but this is insider tea right here. This is a special move just for y'all.
Free
NFT,
game, free
uh,
game, free
free
game.
game. Now, B, I know you are a big frisbee player. Are you still into frisbee?
Um, I mean, I'm always gonna be into frisbee. Like, I don't know. I just me as like playing frisbee. I think like being just a frisbee player. I reached pretty high on the charts because like I was on the USA team. I was playing in the same tournament the best frisbee player in the world was playing in. I met him. Like I don't know.
Was
Like
that dude that was dating one of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
his name is
Brody
Brody Smith.
Brody,
Yeah,
yeah.
from Dude Perfect.
I watched his game like sideline. Like I watched him play. Every time he touched the disc, it was just amazing.
He was nasty for sure. I used to follow him on Instagram and he would do the craziest trick shots.
He's the
Yeah.
one. He's the one that I watched that I learned how to throw my hammers.
Oh.
What's a hammer for the people that don't know?
A hammer, it's usually the go-to throw that Brody Smith does to trick shot, which is you hold the disc and you aim it to wherever you're trying to hit.
So you just kind of aim and release.
Literally throw it, cause I have a whole.
It's like a Hail Mary.
I have a whole bunch of fucking. I'll use my Yukon disc. Hold on.
Shout out to UConn, man. University of Connecticut. Shout out to the Huskies. Huff, 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 huff. Is that what they say up there?
A hammer is like you go like this and you throw it. You go like that. Usually, if you pay attention to his videos, you see he'll take a disc and turn it this way, and usually knocks down whatever he's trying to hit. I asked him when I met him. I asked him the question that everyone wanted to know. I said, I honestly think he lied just to be a celebrity. But I asked him. I said, how many times does it take you to like hit your trick shots? And of course, he says it takes me one time. But
that's cap. That's so cap.
Shots are so insane. There's no way you.
That's
do that
so
one.
cap. Because there are some where he's like throwing it in between his legs, and there'll be a basketball goal like 50 feet away, or not 50 feet, 50 yards away, and he'll just ding it. There's no way you're hitting that on
Yeah.
first shot. Get out of here.
Because they usually say it when they hit it first shot, like on Dude Perfect.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
Dude Perfect. They ran out of
And
field for the whole day.
Bro, like his hands are like baseball like mitts. It's like his hands are huge,
I bet.
meaty, and he's dumb tall. Like he just looks like he's like the LeBron James of Frisbee. Like it's nuts.
LeBron James of Frisbee.
Like yeah, I've been all over for Frisbee. I've been to Michigan, Ohio, Minnesota. I played in the top tournament in the country, and I came in second place to the number one team in the country, which is Amherst. We lost by like 2 points. I was the number one state player for like 2 years. My senior year, I couldn't play in the beginning, but I still broke records. I got my name in my high school book for one of the greats, because what I averaged was like damn near only like two people from alumni could top me. But other than that, yeah,
That's insane.
I was the first. Me and my best friend, which he was also number one in the state. His name's Jaden Coughlin. You could find him, but with me and him, I remember one of the older players, which he played on varsity, he said, don't think that you're gonna make varsity. Freshmen don't make varsity. Like it's okay if you don't make varsity. And the crazy thing is, me and Jaden were like the first freshmen to ever make varsity.
So you guys are kind of like school legends there. Then.
Yeah, when it comes to Frisbee, me and my friend Jaden are up there. I knew
Can
I
you
was
go back and like coach now?
If I wanted to, yeah, I definitely have the knowledge of coaching, because like when I learned Frisbee, usually when I learn something new and like I enjoy it the first time, I try to learn everything about it, because I want to be the best at. I want to be the best at it, and I I did it. I did that. And like I didn't know what, like freshman year, it was just like me getting my feet wet and like learning shit. But I came back sophomore year and I was number one in the state.
In 1 year, huh?
In 1 year, me and my friend was number one in the state. I knew I was something serious, because we had our own school runs a tournament, like a Frisbee tournament, and a kid from like a different team, he was like on JV. He asked me to sign his disc, so I signed my first autograph sophomore year. I swear.
Wow.
That's insane. I never
So
signed
what
a
happened
ball
with
or a
that?
stick.
How did you not end up like going to school for that and getting scholarships and stuff?
You can't get it. That's the thing that's fucked
Dude,
about
ultimate Frisbee
You
is
can't get You can't get a scholarship for. I mean, I could go to school. I could get recommended to go to a school for it, but like you can't get a scholarship for it, because like I guess it's not that high in the charts of like sports ranking. So like it's not really that important. But if you do your research, like this, like Frisbee is all over the world.
Frisbee's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Ultimate Frisbee is
I didn't know that.
ginormous.
When my friend, his name's Anthony Malolo, he came to me and my friend about Frisbee, and I'm like, like an average person, like, what the fuck is Frisbee? What's that?
Like Frisbee.
Wait, was that Ant at Newberry? The one that played CSGO?
No. That's
Shout out to Ant.
That's Ant. That's chubby Ant. No, it was my friend. He went to UConn. That's where
Oh, that's dope as shit.
he put me on. To it. I played with a couple UConn Frisbee players. They're fucking disgusting. I played against them in the alumni game, because mostly like the Frisbee players go and play for UConn. But what I was trying to like, I wanted to go pro, but like what you had to do to go pro was like way out of like what I wanted to do, because
Well,
What do you have to do?
Yeah.
I had to basically I had to try out for this team, which is a bunch of grown men. Like I would have been the youngest dude there, which that's how it was on my my USA team. Like we were the like youngest team, but it was like the top prospects in the state of on my team. But I would have to go against grown men, and just the way like grown men play, like I just don't, I just can't play like that. I don't know why. Like the way of playing in like in professionals, like I would say the way that I play is more freestyle. Like I don't like, cause usually all they run in fucking pro is like Canada, which is one guy, right, or a line. It's either Canada, which is two guys right here, two guys right here. The thrower, which is called the what's it called? Jeez, what is it called? Basically, the point guard of the team. They just one guy runs in, gets the disc in the middle, and just throws it, and it's just
Hail Mary.
It's
just
just
Hail
crazy.
Marys.
Hail Marys, and it's just like they throw like the throws. Like I could like, don't get me wrong, like I like my throws are pretty good. Like I could throw like a 70-yard hammer, 80-yard hammer, but like these dudes are throwing like 100-yard flicks, 95-yard flicks, and like I can't do that. Like I just have to be honest with myself. Like I'm like, bro, I can't. Like I went to the trial and everything, but like I'm like, bro, I can't hang with these dudes. Like this is a whole nother level. Like I learned it. Like I learned it and I played, and I'm not saying like I can't play with them, but like
You didn't want to put in that type of effort for Frisbee.
like that. Those players that I was gonna play with, they gave their like life to Frisbee. Like they started as little, like 7, 8, playing Frisbee.
You were just playing for
playing
fun.
Frisbee when I was 16. I was just playing it to have fun, but these guys were like, they gave Frisbee everything, and I found out like you get paid professionally to play Frisbee like $20, $20 a game, $20 a game, $30 a game. I'm like, no, but I got a cool story. I learned how to throw a flick from a professional Frisbee player. His name was Raymond. Raymond, yeah.
So
He played his flicks. He'll get on his tippy. He's mad long, mad linky. Doesn't look like he'll be fast or anything. But I can't say him. He taught me a lot. He taught me to be the player that I am. My coach, which is the best coach I ever had for any sport, his name was Charles. He knew everything and anything. There's a rule book for Frisbee, so like he knew that like the back of his hand. Like for Frisbee, there's no refs. You're your own ref. You have to be honest. So like if there's like a foul or a call, like you guys will stop right there, and like you and the person that you called the thing on literally has to discuss it. And if they agree, then okay, you guys move from there and do what you're supposed to do. So like if he traveled, the play goes back, and he starts over again. But if he's being a dickhead, usually like a small amount of people would be, he'll like disagree and say he didn't. So if he didn't, that it's on the caller to either stand his ground and keep arguing until he goes back, or just be like, all right, you got it, and just start from there. But yeah, I won the state championship. I did. I don't know. I don't what the only thing that would be higher than what I did is just playing professional. But I'm okay with what I did though, because like I could say what I did, and niggas would be like, whoa.
That is facts. A lot of people can't say they played past high school. You know, high school
Nobody
level.
can say that they met the best. Like from how I was looking at Frisbee, like meeting Brody Smith, I was like, all right, like this has to be the top. Like from my Frisbee player's point of view, me meeting like the best player in the world. What I'm doing, and I'm playing in the same tournament he's in, but obviously we lost against like this team from like North Carolina. They were disgusting. I think it was called like Triforce or something. They're like one of the top teams in the country. But I met him. I talked to different people from Revolvers, which is a professional frisbee team, which is one of the top professional teams. It was crazy. It was just a crazy experience. It was just, I don't know. It was just like I was just doing what I guess a regular frisbee player would do, and just see how far I could go. And I made it pretty far.
Yeah, yeah, man. I guess it's kind of like meeting like Paul Rabel for lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's literally like whatever sport that you're in love with, or like
It's like meeting Tom Brady.
Have love for, passion for. Imagine meeting like the top dog, like the legend of that sport. That's
Tom Brady.
Wow.
Or Patty Holmes.
Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was cool, dog. It was cool. I did a lot. I at one point it was just like the whole state knew who I was. Like every team that I played, the team had a game plan for me and my boy. Like it was just crazy. I was just that dude. I don't know.
You only get 3 steps in frisbee, right?
Yeah.
That's after the catch.
After you catch.
I remember, dude, I loved playing Ultimate Frisbee in high school.
I don't even know if we were there, easy, but they were having like a I don't even know what they were having at Newberry, but they were playing frisbee out there, and I went out there. I played one game, and I literally like wrecked them, like all of them, like all. And they were grown. I was the youngest dude on the field, and like a dude come up to me, he was like, yo, bro. He was like, yo, you played frisbee before? I was like, yeah, I was four-time All-State at my high school. He was like, oh, so you're basically like a professional. I was like, almost, I guess. I don't know. Then I would just rip them apart. It didn't even matter who was on my team. It just, I could do whatever I want. With frisbee is just like I can't lose my talent with it, cause like I don't know. It just came natural. I don't know how it came natural. It just did. I was just good at it. I don't know.
Word. Yeah, that's interesting.
If I could definitely like, I'll still play. Like if I get a chance to play, cause I got a chance to play in like a different country, like but on sand. But I never.
That's different.
I never.
That's a little slower.
Frisbee on sand, so I didn't do that because I was like I told the coach was on the phone, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, like I never played in sand before, so like I don't know how my performance would be. Like I don't know if I'm the same player because I play on grass or turf or like the craziest is mud, like but like sand, that's just a whole nother type of ball game. He was like, all right, I still got his number. But he was like, all right, give me a call. Like, yeah, if I get another chance to play frisbee, yeah, I'll definitely play. Like that game, it's fun. Frisbee is dumb fun. You don't even have to learn it or know it. You could just play, and you'll still have fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Frisbee was always fun to play in like intramurals, like in high school.
Yeah,
I love doing that.
The thing that people get it confused with is like, oh, you play frisbee? Oh, this must be like the same way in like gym class. I thought the same thing until I got into it, and it's like it's a whole different culture. Like it's a whole new set of rules. Like it's a whole nother side to it that people don't know.
That's pretty interesting, man. Yeah, I think if I could play lacrosse again, I'd definitely play. I was actually looking just now for like a men's league to join. Yeah. I just want to kind of just shoot. Like I'm just gonna shoot it every time I get it. Like, oh.
I got a taste of playing professional when I played an indoor league, which is we play frisbee indoors it's a smaller field, but you can still do what you need to do. And it's like a quicker type of pace, like you're always running. Like it's basically our coach wanted us to get better with playing with older people. So when we play people our age, it's easier. But me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a runner like that. I'm fast, like I'm fast as fuck, but I'll run, of course I'll run pretty fast. I could run from end zone to end zone pretty damn fast from the position that I played, but like playing small indoors against professional players or older players that have been playing for years, like they don't stop running. They don't stop moving. They don't stop. Like when I play, right, like in a field, like you have a time to catch a breath. Like it's a field, you have mad time, and my catch up speed is dumb fast. So like me personally, I know what I could do, so I have more time to like catch my breath and stuff because I know how much time I have because I know I could catch up to the person or hawk the person down. Because if someone throws a long pass and it's just hovering in the air, I know 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna get it because my vertical was like one of the top in my state for frisbee. It was like one of the top. Like I had like a 30, 38, 30, 39 vertical, almost 40. Like it was decent. So I was like, I don't know. I just knew what to do. I was just like a general. I was just a general on the floor. I just knew what to do. And that's what made me, I guess, like one of the top because like I knew my strengths and my weaknesses, and I had more strengths than weaknesses.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I definitely suggest if you haven't played it or you're curious about it, definitely look into it. You'll definitely be interested in what you see because like frisbee is not like a boring sport. Like it's actually like pretty interesting.
Word.
I always liked playing it. I like playing volleyball too. I wish I would have gotten more into like men's volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball is definitely there's. I was watching a men's volleyball game one time, and it's like I'll definitely do that. I'll be more of like a spike type of position though.
Yeah, I would definitely do some volleyball if I had the chance. That looks pretty lit.
I definitely should have tried lacrosse when I had the chance. I think I would have been decent.
Yeah, lacrosse is pretty fun.
I just like to hit people though. I definitely would have been a defensive player because I just would have been rocking people. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just would have been rocking people. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting. Once I played frisbee, it definitely exposed me to a lot of other different sports I didn't know of. And like different things, like for frisbee, like the type of people that you meet are so different. Like you play games, you eat different foods and there's different preps. It's a whole nother world. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sounds like a cool vibe.
I think I'm pretty for sports. I think I did pretty good. For football, I got all conference. I was corner wide receiver. I did indoor track. I made it to state opens. I think we won. Yeah, we did win states. No, we won state opens. We didn't win states. For football, we lost in the final round of the playoffs. But for younger football. I played on FBU, which is like the best players in the state for football. For midget, I played that.
You were playing with midgets?
No, but yeah. I'll definitely play with
No wonder
midgets.
he was stat packing.
But yeah, I definitely played a good amount of sports. I think I could say that. Did pretty good on the.
My man was diverse.
Yeah, I'm definitely diverse when it comes to sports.
I wish I was good at basketball. I think that's the one sport I wish I could just be naturally good in. Because I've never been naturally good in anything, I don't think. Like, it's been like yearly progression trying to get good at things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, that's a better way to be. That's how everybody starts, right?
I guess so.
I think like people like LeBron,
Basketball,
they have like natural stuff.
Basketball, I just transitioned my athletic abilities into like basketball. So like I'm fast, I could jump, I'm quick, like I'm good at defense and stuff. So like I just transitioned that into basketball and it worked. And I was pretty. I hung with basketball for a little bit. I'll always play basketball because like I love basketball. But football stole my heart. Then I had a fucking bitch ass coach. Sorry for the language, but he was fucked up my football career. Then I went to frisbee, ran it up over there, found out that like people don't take that shit fucking serious. So then I just went to college for business and shit, learned what I could learn, and I just use that in my day-to-day life. So when I get the amount of money that I need to get to do what I need to do, I'm gonna start a clothing brand and do what I plan to do. Because you always gotta have a plan. So.
Indeed, you do.
Fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Exactly.
So, what's about this clothing brand? Yeah, you want to talk like a little bit about that, or kind of like like your business plans for the future?
I'm about to go Conrad on you about the clothing brand.
Conrad.
Did Conrad try to start a clothing brand?
Like 3 years ago.
With EJ, with all of us, and him and EJ always used to butt heads because EJ would be like, "Okay, so what can you do?" And he would never be able to answer the question.
So Conrad couldn't do anything.
I think he just didn't. A lot of people have trouble expressing their strengths a lot of times. Like, if I were to ask you, Spencer, like, what are you good at?
I'm one of those people, but I definitely I at least take the time to see what my strengths are. I just be like, all right, it's hard for me to explain my strengths. I'm just not about to see. I'm not about to.
I remember one day you asked me if you could work with me with like my marketing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, let's have like an interview.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was definitely interesting what you were doing. So I like that type of stuff. I like things. I like things that, and like I like things that cause a lot of learning experience, but not too much, if that makes sense.
What do you mean not too much?
Like I'll learn something all day, every day. I'll learn it. But if it gets to a point where, okay, basically I'll make an example. Like I find like a sitch that I like to do, and I'm learning it. I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing it. And then I get to a point where I thought that I learned a good amount to be able to, like continue what I'm doing and be okay. So yeah, I'll learn some more. But I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'll keep learning, but I'll forget the information that I was learning before because I'm learning too much information. And that'll fuck me up. So, but I always try to work on that. So, like, that's why, like, I write stuff down and shit.
You always gotta write stuff down.
That makes sense. That shit, like, I don't know if that happens to any of you. That happens to me. Like, I'll learn something and I'll learn it for a long period of time. And
yeah,
then
one thing that a lot of people do.
I'll start to forget the stuff that I already learned because I'm learning new information. I gotta keep that information. So then I'll end up having to, try some. I have to do like switch up what I was doing before because the information that I have to do things differently. But sometimes I guess that's a good thing. But I guess I gotta learn that. But that's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's like the main difference between like being an expert in your field and kind of just knowing in your field. Like my TA, for example, in my genetics class, he just finished pharmacy school and now he's going for his doctorate in microbiology. And he literally said the other day, like, he doesn't want to be a professor because you have to be an expert in the subject. He's more of like a jack of all trades kind of guy. Which I mean is an interesting perspective, but at the same time, like you're a teacher's assistant, which is pretty much, that's like a segue to becoming a professor. But I mean, to be a professor, like you have to publish a certain amount of papers to even like get respect at like a top university, and because it's like the people that are there have been publishing papers since like the 60s and 80s and 90s, So you got to be able to. It's just as competitive as joining like any professional industry, really. Like, when I was interviewing for my internships this summer, I remember they were saying like a 4.0 student from an Ivy League college is literally a dime a dozen. Like, there's nothing really special about them. You know what I mean? Like, because now, like, if you don't go to an Ivy League,
that's actually news to me because I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like there's
That's actually
what?
facts though, because they're getting a whole bunch of people like that.
Yeah, they're all around, especially like on Wall Street and like New York and like Boston, hot zone areas where
Yeah.
like big companies where they go and have like their headquarters. You can just
Yeah.
get, especially like think about Boston, right? There's 90 schools there. You got BU, you got Harvard, you got MIT.
BC.
Like right there, that's already over 100,000 people that are at top universities and probably have like above a 3.7. And you know what I mean? So it's like, what makes you different from any one of those? And I think a lot of times, if you have done something on your own, it makes up way more than going to a top university and having good grades. Because I mean, that just means you can do what you're told. But a lot of times at jobs like that, you're going to be doing more of critical thinking work and figuring out what to do, like on the spot, like decision making, stuff that you really can't learn from school just because of like the structure of school itself. Yeah. I think Spencer knows what I mean with that.
No, 100%.
Because it's like there's a big difference between going to work every day doing what you're told versus trying to start a company and no one's telling you what to do, and you have to make decisions on what to do and how to prioritize and make time commitments and be on time to things. Being responsible, being accountable, not only to like yourself but like your other teammates, because it's like just as easy as it was to start, like it's just as easy to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you put in work for something and it's getting tough, at least finish it and get something out of it. Don't put all that effort into something and just quit and get nothing out of it, but just stress and lost time from you trying to do something.
And regret later when you're like, oh man, I should have just stuck to it. When you see someone else trying to do what you're going to do, and then you're like, oh man,
Exactly.
that could have been me. That's the worst feeling. The worst feeling. How do you feel about guys painting their nails?
Painting their nails.
Yeah.
I think it's your body and you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
They want to paint their nails and it makes them happy? Cool.
I just seen Little Yachty. He just I think he did it. I don't know he just did it, but he put out his own nail polish brand for men. What do you guys
he's
think about
been
that?
painting his nails. I didn't hear that. No.
Really? Yeah. If you look up, he has his own nail polish brand for men.
That's actually insane.
What's the difference?
I truly do not know.
Just
I don't think B uses nail polish.
Yeah, I don't use nail polish, so I really wouldn't know. Salute to Yachty though, really. Salute for that's a crazy investment.
He's definitely got to be like one of the first ones on the market for that.
Oh, of course, 100%. No, that's outside of the box thinking.
So like truthfully, that was like a big business move because now men don't have to use women brand. They can use well, I guess if you're painting your nails, you don't really look at yourself as a man unless you did. I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. If you want to paint your nails, paint your nails. I don't care.
Yeah, I think if you paint your nails, you're letting people know without saying it.
You're different. You're different.
You're different.
You're a trendsetter. You're a trailblazer.
I'm comfortable in my own body, and I don't care what you think about it.
Good for you. Good for those people.
Yeah, good for them.
It's just not for me.
Yeah, it really isn't. Oh, did you? I'll tell you guys something that was tragic that happened yesterday, and what's going on over here.
Story time.
Supposedly there was a shooting in another town, and a 3-year-old died from crossfire.
What color were they?
African American.
What color was the cop?
Ugh. There was no cops involved.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was it was gang violence. I'm pretty sure, and just that kid got unlucky. So
I heard that Hartford's pretty big on gangs, actually.
yeah, condolences to the family that lost a kid. No, that hurts.
That's tough.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old?
Yeah, 3-year-old.
That's sad
What
as
do you
fuck.
guys think about that? Like stuff like that, right? And then
Yeah,
people say like
that
God
type of
has a
stuff.
plan.
That's always a very very bitter taste.
But
And
like,
that's
what do you think about kind of like the religious kind of components of that? Like, the 3-year-old couldn't have done anything. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
what is the good in that? Or
Well,
like,
some people of their religious beliefs would say that was his fate.
That's the devil's work.
Some others would exactly, Spencer. Some others will say that's the devil's work. There's just a whole bunch of different opinions on the situation from just different people and what they were brought into and their beliefs and stuff. So you can't really, I wouldn't really argue with that. I wouldn't really have that argument with anyone because, like, if you're brought into something and you're just taught something constantly and seeing it constantly and hear it constantly, then you're gonna believe it.
yeah.
So that type of thing, I just hate. You just have to keep your
It's like
loved ones
breakfast is the
close.
most important meal of the day.
Just
That's propaganda.
if you pray, you pray. You pray to whatever you pray to, whatever. But just know that it's crazy nowadays. It could happen to anyone. You never know. So
Don't let that go over our heads, though. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's
yeah.
just straight up as a marketing campaign by a orange juice company.
Orange, really?
Yeah,
Oh!
they paid some researchers to make an article saying that it's the most important meal of the day. Then they could use it in their ads, and then boom, next thing you know, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, everybody needs their breakfast.
True.
Wendy's just hopped on the breakfast line.
Yeah, just
Is that so?
yeah, they got
Wendy's has
chicken
had their own
biscuits.
breakfast for a little bit. I haven't had it yet.
I have not had Wendy's breakfast once in my life.
I don't think I want it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
just stick with
definitely want
Chick-fil-A.
to try it. I
Fast
definitely
food
want to
breakfast
try
is
it.
like a last resort for me.
I'm gonna keep my white ass at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A breakfast, do you think?
How do you guys feel about Lil Nas's Devil Shoe?
I thought
And
they
the
were
music
fire.
video to come with it.
You want me to be,
I didn't see
bro?
the
That
video. I just
the
saw a
shoes
clip.
were
Didn't
tough.
see the video.
The shoes were tough. Like
The
there's
shoes
no
were
debate.
tough. You can't even deny that they weren't tough.
The shoes are a nice shoe, but what comes behind the shoe?
He only
I
made
don't know, runs into
666 of them. Those things are gonna resell for. I wish I would have got a pair.
I heard
yeah.
Nike. I heard Nike is he's kind of in trouble with Nike.
They already reached a settlement. Actually.
Nike just doesn't claim the shoe. Like Nike's like, hey, don't like you're not partnered with us. Like, don't say that they're Nikes. Type
But
of
at the
thing.
end of
But
the
they're
day, they
Nikes.
can't do anything because
They can't do shit.
They
They're
can.
customs.
He's using their brand.
They're
But
customs.
so does every other customizer. They can't. They would have to do that against all customizers, and that would kill the whole customization industry.
Yeah, Lil Nas can't get in trouble.
They already reached a settlement with the company. They're not pursuing like other legal actions. So at the end of the day, it just gave Nike more press. Like no press is bad press, to be completely honest.
That's
Especially
facts.
if you're that big.
No press is bad press.
Nike already has sweatshops. That's not a secret. Like they're already bad for the environment. It's not a secret. Like
Yeah, you got little kids making your shoes over in China for 7 cents.
Yeah, it's like, and no one cares. So why would they care now that somebody made a custom shoe?
You have a point. You definitely do have a point.
Yeah, it's more of at this point just battle of longevity. Is someone else like Yeezy? I heard Yeezy's actually coming out with a new version of the Nike Yeezys. They have like a little contract going on to drop one more.
Have you guys seen the video of the 2 police officer and the trooper?
Oh yeah, the army guy.
Yeah, what is your take on that? Are you backing up the blue or protecting the troops?
I'm disappointed, not surprised. That's about it.
That shit pissed me off.
What do you think should happen to those police officers?
Fired immediately. Anyone who pepper sprayed him, fired. Honestly, anybody who was on his back trying to wrestle him to the ground, like, get out of here, bro. He's in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally hands in the air, nothing's in his hands, and he's like, can y'all please tell me what I did wrong? And he's
nothing in his hands.
What did I do wrong?
For a traffic
What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And then they're like, get on the ground.
To that. Guns are drawn while his hands are seen in the air. That should speak volumes.
But I mean, I guess to play like devil's advocate, being a military person, you most likely do have a gun.
Okay, but did he have it in his hands is the thing. They have all their guns drawn and pointed at you, EJ. You don't have a gun on you. You're in uniform. You have your hands up and you're like, hey, what did I do wrong? And they tackle you to the ground.
Yeah, I understand the situation. I'm just playing, like, that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, we already know as a military person, you most likely have a gun in your car.
And you think a military person is going to shoot an officer?
You never know. There was actually a few shootings of military people that actually shot a lot of cops a few years ago.
I would want to see that information.
Yeah, 110% want to see where you got that from.
I want to see
Would
that.
you like me to? I can definitely pull it up real quick.
What about this whole Dante Wright thing? Because that's been pretty big on the news lately. And that shit.
Oh yeah, the guy that got shot. I didn't know the whole story. I just saw his picture everywhere.
Have you seen the video?
No.
EJ, it is probably I'm gonna use this B word lightly, the dumbest bitch I have ever seen in my life. That is a cop.
What do you mean?
So, dude got out of the car peaceful as fuck, right? They got him out. He had a warrant out for his arrest for a misdemeanor, which is literally just a ticket. All they were going to do was, like, literally bring him in and give him a ticket, and then he was free to go after that. They were trying to put handcuffs on him so they could take him into the office just to give him his ticket, because it wasn't like a traffic violation ticket. Like, you had to go to the, I don't know if it was the jail or some police office to get his warrant cleared for his misdemeanor, so he would just have to pay it. And dude was kind of dumb, not gonna lie. He tried to get away and hop back in his car and drive off, but this bitch pulls out her gun and starts screaming, taser, 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 and then boom, pops one right in his ribcage. Now, all cops are required to have the safety on at all times. And my dad, who is a former cop, we've talked about this, I asked him, I said, does a taser feel different than a gun? And he said, yeah, it also looks different. One is bright fucking yellow. I was like, huh. I showed him the video, and he literally looked at me and he said, Spencer, that is the dumbest bitch that I've ever seen. She should have never made it out of the academy.
It was a woman.
It was a woman. It was a white woman.
Wow.
And when this dude drives off, because he ends up driving off and crashing into another car down the road later after he died. And yeah, so he like was driving off, and she looked shocked, and you see this white cop across the street, and he literally just has his hands out, and he's like, what the fuck did you just do? Like, that's what his face looked like. He just had his hands open, and he was like, why did you shoot him?
Right. I'm sure he's probably like, what the fuck? I found the article, by the way. So in 2016, Micaiah Johnson, who was a Army Reserve veteran from Afghanistan, shot and killed 6 police officers in Dallas, Texas.
Sheesh! What? 6?
He was just literally just out to kill cops. Literally, he said that was the motive. He was just going to go kill some cops.
Okay. Cool. All right. I think this dude was speeding and he just got pulled over for a ticket.
Yeah.
And then they ended up pepper spraying him while he was still in his car and he has his hands on the wheel and then he got out.
Yeah, you guys asked me where is it from, so I just.
Oh no, yeah, that I feel like that's completely different from this one though. But okay, yeah, so some army people have shot cops before, 6 in one go. I guess
Apparently, it was the biggest, the deadliest law enforcement incident since 9/11.
Holy shit, that is insane.
How do you think
Yeah.
Elon Musk is doing right now?
Right now, he's probably sleeping.
He's still trying to
mean,
figure
doubt
out
it.
how to get his million-mile car
Doubt
battery to
that's-
work.
I doubt that he's sleeping right now. Doubt it.
I feel like he doesn't stay up all day every day though. Like he's kind of at the point where his team is doing most of the work.
Where is he located?
He's in Texas.
He's in California, right?
He's in
He
Texas.
travels to like 3 states a day.
Wow.
Because he goes to SpaceX in Florida, then he goes to the Gigafactory, and then he goes over to Boring Co.
He's got his own private jet that gets in there in like under an hour.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. The big
And I'm sure it's
747,
electric.
the flex planes, an electric plane. That'd be impressive. I'm surprised he's not working on that, or no one's working on that.
Are you kidding me? He probably
just
is.
seen-
There's
I
no
just
way he's
seen- I
not
don't know
working
if
on
it's
that.
real- I don't know if it's real or not, but I just seen that he said he made something for people easier to talk or something like that.
It better not be for video games.
No, it's for people. No, it's for like people that like have a disorder, like the people that use a machine.
Oh, Neuralink.
Yeah.
Neuralink is absolutely bonkers. It's literally a brain.
So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I saw that a few years ago when they first came out with the press release. It's literally the craziest thing of our time.
Really?
Like they just I saw they
Yeah.
did a test the other day with a monkey, and they were able to they basically were able to map out left, right, up, and down to see like where in the brain it was most active when when the monkey did those actions. So now they're gonna essentially be able to make what they were able to do in the test was right. They made the monkey do it again, but the sticks didn't do anything that he was using, and he was literally controlling it with his mind.
What?
Yeah, it's literally that's like the whole point of it. So like paraplegic people or like people that don't have any they're paralyzed, they can still operate stuff through the Neuralink.
That's insane. Elon Musk is doing wonders right now.
Yeah, he's a crazy dude. He's definitely
he's definitely crazy.
But you gotta be crazy to make that kind of money. No one's making safe choices to make that to be the richest man in the world or second
Bro,
richest.
you know what I looked up today, dude? If you take the top 10 richest people in America, and then you that are men, and then you take the top 10 people that are women that are like the richest, do you know all their money only equals up to $1.2 trillion?
And that's just really stocks. All their stocks equal that.
That's it. And like something I was thinking about, because they want to do like that affordable health care and tax the rich so they get more money. Like, how much are they gonna tax them? Because if you took
60%, 70%.
If you took all of their money, like every single last dime, it would not.
That's less
What
than
was
the
it?
relief bill that just got passed for COVID like 2 weeks ago.
Oh no, yeah.
And we just spent that willy-nilly.
It
you
wouldn't
know?
like if you took all of the rich people's money, like not the top 1%. I'm just saying like the top 10 richest people, male and female, in the United States. If you take every last dime, they do not even come close to running a free healthcare system for a month.
That we already spent 1.3 trillion this year alone, and the year's not even halfway over, and we just spent it on one bill, and everybody got $1,200. Like,
Not everyone. Hold on. No. Not everyone. Not everyone. Not
Who
everyone.
didn't get it?
I didn't get one. My parents didn't get one.
Oh,
LeBron
yeah,
didn't get one. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That wasn't even for everyone in the United States.
But if you did the math, right, and you looked at that bill right there, if everybody got a fair share of it based on like what they put into taxes, everybody should have got closer to 5,200, when in reality they got 1,200.
Well,
So even that right there was a gypped notion already.
some
You
of
know
the
what I mean?
bills were for like businesses and stuff, like the small businesses that needed the like I guess relief bills or whatever, because they got
You know
some
what really
too.
makes me mad about that? The small businesses are all gonna get blown up when they raise the minimum wage to $15.
Yeah, they're not going to be around.
How are other small businesses going to be able to afford paying everybody $15 when they can barely afford to pay them now?
They're not going
And
to.
their minimum wages are like $7, $8.
They're not going to.
It's impossible. And
You're
people are
gonna
like,
have
"Oh
to
well, it
make
doesn't matter."
you're gonna have to make a McDonald's hamburger. It's not gonna cost like $2 anymore. It's gonna be like a solid 8.
I don't know about 8, but the value of the dollar is already going down. If they raise the minimum
Because they
wage to
keep printing
$15, we're gonna
money.
have hyperinflation.
They just keep printing money.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta
Isn't like
invest in
20%
crypto.
of all the bills that are ever produced last year?
Yes.
Which is crazy. The 20%
It's
of all
stupid.
the money the U.S. has ever made was printed in the last 365 days. It's kind of sad. It just kind of shows you like all this shit. We put so much meaning to it, but it really is just a fugazi. That's why that's my favorite clip ever. Like everything's a fugazi. Because when the zombies come and the apocalypse starts, your money is absolutely valueless. When it's survival mode, you can't go buy stuff. You're gonna be haggling. Shout out to Haggle, another project. But yeah.
What's Haggle? What's Haggle?
Haggle's dope.
Haggle is a international barter only marketplace that I'm building right now. Yeah, we're actually raising our first seed round coming up soon. So if you want to hop on Kickstarter, you can definitely hop on and donate. Anything under $10,000 is much appreciated. Considered a donation.
Oh, that. I like this. I like this podcast. I think we should definitely keep this going. You're doing a good thing, EJ. I like it.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
man. Me and
podcast is
Spencer, we're
gonna
trying
stay
to
up.
do it all.
Oh, Spencer's a part of this too. Oh, good shit, Spencer. I like what you guys are doing.
You thought I was a guest.
Spencer's the guest.
See.
See what?
You gotta let me know that.
No, he's not a guest. We were joking.
Oh, exactly. Oh, fuck you guys.
But yeah, man, it's pretty cool. We got some big things in the works.
How many? When do you? Is there certain days that you podcast, or you just?
Yeah, we actually just came up with a schedule. Crazy enough.
Yeah.
Tuesdays,
Thursdays,
Thursdays,
Sunday.
and Sundays. Or you could just say Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Sunday, Tuesday, Thursdays. Okay, I'll spread the word, obviously, because I'm gonna support my boys' what they're doing.
Of course, appreciate it.
I didn't know you had to download Skype. I haven't used Skype ever. This is the first time I ever used Skype.
Yeah,
It's
Microsoft kills a lot of things they buy, so no shade to Discord, but a shade to Discord.
Big shade. Like fat shade. Humongous. Actually, no. Microsoft, buy Discord, please. Make it an Xbox exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
Or actually, not. Yeah, make it a Microsoft exclusive.
Have any of you guys heard or played the game Destiny?
Dude, don't even get me started.
Oh, so you do play that? You played Destiny, Spence?
I played Vanilla Destiny. And I played Destiny 2. Vanilla. You're talking... You're talking two-shot. You're talking two-shot with the Thorn. You're talking last word hip fire like crazy accuracy.
Yeah, see, I missed that time. I came around like Destiny. What was? I'm pretty sure it was Destiny, Rise of the Kings or something like that. I forgot what it's called.
Rise of the Kings.
Taken King, actually.
Taken King, yes, that was with Oryx. That was the Oryx
Taken
raid.
Taken King that was the time to. If you weren't there, then you missed out. Honestly,
You missed out big time.
I'm mad I missed out on Vanilla Destiny. All I could hear now is stories about it.
Vanilla Destiny was insane. Like
Yeah,
that was before you had hammers on the Titan. That was before you had your bow on the Hunter.
Oh, have you played recently?
So I don't play Destiny 2 anymore. I literally like.
Honestly, don't if you don't play recently. They just put something in this called stasis. It'll make you rip your hair out. It's ice. They put ice in the game now.
Ice.
Ice supers.
Yeah, what they did was they basically, because they hinted at the end of like the first storyline that they had added into Destiny 2 with Gaul, they had hinted at the darkness coming back and finding the Traveler because it like set off a beacon when it destroyed this I guess blocker of the light pretty much, and then it was such a good storyline. They fucked it, bro. They really just fucked it right in the ass. Bungie had no idea what they were doing. Like the game was so good, bro, but you had to go so deep into like the internet and find lore, and you had to download apps to read about it, and you didn't get the full story.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know it went that deep.
Oh no, it was deep. I used to move all my stuff through the inventory on an app on my phone, so I could just switch characters and just switch all my guns and stuff over.
The Destiny app, yeah, I had that too.
Yeah, that's what all the lore was on. When you'd go around and like find shit in the game and you'd get the glimmer points, that's what all that was about.
Oh, yeah.
I was a nerd for
GTA,
Destiny.
when they had their app, that was pretty fire. They were like the first place to do that, I think.
GTA
Honestly,
was lit.
Destiny 2, it's pretty alright.
Is the Mida multi-tool still broken?
If they take this ice subclass out, the game will be. It's honestly, I can say, it is like an upgraded version. It's very close to being an upgraded version of vanilla. Very close. Very close.
I don't think anything will be like vanilla.
It's never gonna be the actual vanilla Destiny because that was just a legendary time. Like you just had to be there.
Bro, I'd be standing on Pantheon, two-shotting snipers in the head with a hand cannon, and then I would run away, and the burn effect would kill them.
Benevolence was the vanilla sniper.
That sounds so cheesy. Just two-shotting with a burn.
That sniper is nuts. I forgot what sniper I used to use.
It was gay. I still have my old clips on my Xbox app.
Oh, old Destiny clips? Jeez.
I have my old Destiny clips.
Those are dusty.
Some of them are pretty clean, bro. I had a 5-man with the Thorn. I was so cheesy, bro. When I unlocked the Thorn, I was so gay.
You were one of those.
Oh, I only used it. I literally played all day to unlock it when I found out how broken it was, and then got it when Xur came on Friday.
At that time, I didn't play Destiny. I would go over because my best friend was playing it during that time. I would go over there and like watch him play, and like literally, like it was just like it was nuts. It was just like nuts.
Destiny,
the Thorn,
yeah.
The kill, it was just nuts. It was. I literally play. He handed me the controller to play. Like I got like 20 kills with it. I'm like, yo, there's no way this pistol is like in this game right now.
You didn't have to try, EJ. You know the LC-10?
Jesus.
You know how broken the LC-10 was when they just added it?
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
The Thorn was times 10, what that is.
Times 10?
Times 10. EJ, two-shot. Anywhere. You didn't have to hit them in the head.
EJ, when you get hit, it'll damage. Like, it'll be like...
It puts a burn effect on you.
It'll burn you.
That's
the
terrible.
The next hit is literally death.
It's kind of like Rainbow Six. They had a lot of games, or a lot of characters.
OP burn too. It was the OP burn.
Yeah, not the nerf burn where it did 6 damage. We're talking about the OP burn where it was doing literally, I think it was 16 tick, and it would burn for 5 seconds. So each second you'd get ticked by 16 health, and it would stack. So if I shot you twice, you were losing 32 health a second.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Whoever invented that gun, bro, was literally throwing. They were trolling as fuck. And they didn't fix it for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Trials of Osiris, it was straight up just last words. It was the Iron Banner shotgun and
Trials.
if you could get what was it? If you could get a sniper that had a perk on it that it was like last round in the chamber, you could body shot people with it. Cause snipers in Destiny, you had to hit them in the head for it to be one shot. But if you got a certain perk on like your perk tree, you could literally just one shot to the body. So people would spam their magazine, and you'd run up to like the head glitches with your snipers, and all three of you would just sit on a perch and just shoot people in the body.
That sounds fucking retarded.
The game was dumb, but it was so
Like,
much fun to play. Like, if you had the Thorn, you were having a blast.
wow.
But not everyone had the Thorn, because that shit was honestly hard as fuck to get. You had to grind.
Yeah, Destiny's a big grind game. I played it and I got to like the max light level back in like 2018. But then they update and then I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again.
I got my first Gallahorn, and after I got my first one, I got 2 more back to back. Because I went and played the Nightfall when it came out, and I got my first Gallahorn from it. I was super fucking excited. And then I went into the Vault of Glass, which was like the first ever raid they did, and I went in there and got a Gallahorn from that. And then I went and did the Prison of Elders Skull Loss, and then I got a Gallahorn from that.
So you had 3 Gallahorns?
I had 3 Gallahorns.
EJ, I definitely think you should play Destiny 2. See how you like it.
Don't.
I played it
Honestly,
before.
EJ, just stick to
Play
COD.
Destiny 2?
Destiny 2 is
Yeah,
so
I
trash.
wasn't that into it like y'all. Like literally my friends hit me up.
You didn't get the good part of Destiny. You just got the ugly.
The ugly part of Destiny, EJ, is Destiny 2.
Yeah.
It's so garbage. It's so fucking trash. Like, being a Destiny fan, like, I'm a diehard. I love the game. But Bungie fucked it up. They fucked it up so bad.
Bungie.
I don't know what they were doing with this one.
Is there pro Destiny?
No, but if there was, I was in it. I would have been in it 100%. I'm not even capping. I was winning
Doug
trials
is
every
in
week
here.
on
Shout
all 3
out
of my
Doug,
characters.
Dab Daddy Doug.
No
in the
shot, Doug
building,
is in here.
man.
Dab Daddy Doug.
Dab Daddy Doug, man.
Morgan
Shout out
said,
to you.
how can you tell... Wait, how can you not tell if you have a gun in your hand? You'd think a taser and a gun would feel different. Yeah, no, they feel completely different.
Yeah, I don't even
Taser,
understand.
taser, taser, pop! Oh, I think I shot him. Like,
Maddie says you have a more conservative perspective than critical, Spencer.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. But Dab Daddy Doug, where the dabs at, man? Pass me the.
Dab Daddy Doug.
What would I do for a Dab Daddy Doug dab right now?
$5 dab.
If you weren't there, you just had to be there.
You had to be there.
You just had to be there.
Right place, right time. Dab Daddy Doug.
We had Treyway.
Treyway.
He's at Texas A&M
remember
now.
We told Treyway that he took black tar heroin dabs. It was ridiculous. Like he literally took a dab from the dab cart.
Really?
And then we told him that it was black tar heroin, and we were like, just don't like tweak out. We were like, you'll be good. Like, don't worry about it. And then he was like, 10 minutes later, he's like freaking out, just like, bro. And he really went to Liz's room, and he was curled up like in a blanket with a trash.
Yeah, because Cannon lied and said he was smoking black tar heroin out of gas.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, if you ever seen black tar heroin, you can't get that shit. First of all, it would be too thick to hit it in a dab pen. It would just fuck the dab pen up.
I've never seen black tar heroin, but
Look it up. Look up black tar heroin. It's like tar.
Is that what they call it, black tar heroin?
Yeah, it's literally like if you smoke, you know, like the res from marijuana. It's like the res of heroin.
Oh. So it's the good stuff.
And they sell it.
So you're just down bad if you're smoking black tar.
They sell it to people that don't give a fuck about their life.
I've definitely always wanted to try heroin. Just like shoot it right up in between my toes.
Spencer, no.
Just shoot it in between my toes.
Yeah,
But I was
heroin.
always thinking, like,
That's
for people to
just a
ruin their
different-
lives over
that's just
drugs,
a
like, it
different
has to be
road
pretty
to
crazy.
life. Like if you take heroin, you're just chasing a crazy dragon.
But I heard the first time is like ridiculous.
Yeah, the first time is like you feel like you've seen God. Let's talk about DMT.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started, bro. Joe Rogan has warped my mind.
You tried DMT?
No, Joe Rogan has warped my mind to want to try it.
Yeah, I definitely. Okay, good.
I think he's a top DMT
Good that you
salesman.
know Joe Rogan. I watched that too. So, I think that DMT is going to be legal. Like, I think everyone's gonna start doing it at one point.
Dimethyltryptamine?
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, they're going to reschedule the drugs because stuff like shrooms is still a Schedule 1 drug, like, which is kind of ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of like the natural stuff like weed, shrooms, DMT, psilocybin specifically with shrooms, like they're Schedule 1 drugs, which means like you get the worst punishment for them.
Jesus.
But Joe Biden's supposed to fix that, right? He's supposed to do everything.
I think he's going to, but I'm not sure. Doesn't Joe Biden fucking like hate marijuana?
No, that's
He
Kamala
said,
Harris.
They were gonna legalize it, but they say a lot of stuff.
I know people that are in jail for marijuana are pissed the fuck off. You could literally go buy this shit in the store.
Yeah, I'll be pissed.
I'll be fucking pissed.
I heard in Massachusetts, like the average store pays around $400,000 a year in taxes.
Really?
Yeah, because they tax the shit out of those stores, out of the dispensaries.
Oh yeah, of course. Because I'm pretty sure Mass isn't like a big legal, like it's not there, like it's legal, but it's not like established as like a big place for it being legal.
Statewide, it's legal. Federally, it's illegal.
Well, remember Hempfest? They definitely have a big thing.
Hempfest was a great experience.
Yeah, that was only like
I did not attend Hempfest.
70-pound joint.
Yeah, she was like, I'm on my way out anyway.
She hit it like a fucking boss. She didn't even cough. What else did I see there? I seen a guy take a crazy dab. Crazy dab. It was like the size of a hand.
Were you there, Spencer?
I did not go to Hempfest, no. I do not partake in the marijuana just smokies.
Didn't Spence? I'm pretty sure Spence,
Nah, B.
I'm pretty sure Spence. I could have thought Spence smoked. You didn't?
Nah, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Me neither.
Who was your roommate, Spence?
I had Caden as my roommate, and he dropped out within. Caden was so fi, bro. He just didn't want to do culinary. I loved Caden. Caden was dope as shit. Me and him would play Fortnite together in Call of Duty, and that shit was so much fun. And then he dropped out because he didn't want to do school anymore because he was fed up with culinary. And yeah, I had a room to myself, so I just kept to myself, and I had
I remember.
I had a couple of women over sometimes.
Playboy Spencer.
Playboy Spencer.
I went through my host stage. I'm done with my host stage. We're good.
That's cat.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I went there and I met EJ. The first person I met was Ant. And honest to God, the first words I'll never forget it. The first words he ever said to me, he was like, bro, you do drugs? I'm like, no. he's like, you smoke? I'm like, yeah. He was like, all right, we're gonna get along just fine. Then he brought me to Cannon's room. Then he introduced me to Cannon, and this is when Cannon had the hippie long hair, like the California long hair.
Yeah, that was the OG.
And I'm like, who's this dude? And I was like, what's up? He was like, what's up? I'm like, what's your name? He was like, my name's Cannon. I was like, where are you from? He was like, I'm from Cali. I was like, where? I I only know one person from Cali, and that was my friend Eli. And I'm like, oh, that's sick. And the first thing we did was roll backwards in my dorm the first day. And then I met EJ and Dom. And EJ still had a little accent.
What are you talking about? I had an accent?
Yes, I have a video. I think you were acting. I think you were acting like you had an accent.
What?
I still have the video. We were smoking, and EJ was just clowning. He was just clowning.
Nah,
Then,
EJ
after a
doesn't
while,
smoke.
It's all clicked up. And then I met Conrad. Oh, man.
The only time I smoke is when Elon Musk smokes. Just want to put that out there.
The first time when you smoked was when Elon Musk smoked?
That's the only time I smoke is when Elon Musk smokes.
The only time I smoke is when Snoop Dogg smokes. And I'm letting him down right now because he's probably smoking.
Didn't him and him and Wiz Khalifa did like a smoke off.
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg won.
Of course he did.
Yeah, how come you smoke weed like that? He definitely doesn't get high anymore. He just smokes it to smoke.
No cap. There's no way.
Like, if he was really, like, getting, like, dumb high, he would, like, all his backwoods would just have to have OD dabs in it, have to be wrapped in a slab. Like, it has to be retarded.
I
Snoop
think
Dogg,
he
yeah.
gets high, but he functions off of it. Like, it's chill for him. Like, it's normal. It's just normal him. Like, I think when he wakes up, like, he's not sober.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he
Snoop
just...
Dogg probably, I seen something, he said Snoop Dogg, he said he probably smokes 20 blunts a day.
Did Little Baby
20?
say that too?
He smokes 20 blunts a day. That's what Snoop Dogg does.
That's so bad, bro. His lungs are fucked.
That's no... It's not... Like, how is that even possible? 20 blunts a day? How are you not waking up the next day still high?
Because he's been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah, he's been doing that for... Probably younger. He was probably smoking 30 blunts a day. He's a legend for smoking. Like, that's the best type of title ever. Like, everyone wants to smoke with Snoop Dogg. Imagine if everyone wants to smoke with you. Yeah.
Who would you smoke with? If you could smoke with anybody,
Snoop Dogg's son is Wiz Khalifa.
Like, if you could have a session with like 4 people, who would you have it with?
If I could have a session with 4 people, who would it be with? Great question. I would, first off, I'm picking Snoop Dogg. The second person, the second person I'm picking is, what's his name? Oh, what's it called? Method Man.
Method Man.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg, Method Man. Who else?
DMX.
DMX. Nah, I can't even say that joke. RPG DMX.
Up to the
Well,
goat.
I'll do definitely Method Man, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, and the last person would be Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart? That's a crazy rule.
Kevin Hart would make my lungs explode from laughter, and I'll be high. I'll be high as hell laughing at Kevin Hart.
What about you, Spencer?
I don't do drugs.
What about you?
Theoretically, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking?
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
Robert Downey Jr. Wow.
For my second person, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp and Robert Downey Jr.
And then for my third person, I want Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle?
You got one more person.
And then oh shit. Morgan Freeman.
I'm still laughing at
Morgan
Robert
Freeman.
Downey Jr.
So you got President Jesus. You got Dave Chappelle. You got Johnny Depp. You got Jack Sparrow and Iron Man.
Johnny Depp. Yo, that's an amazing smoke session.
That's my smoke
You would never
sesh.
leave that room the same.
I got Robert Downey Jr., I have Johnny Depp, I have Dave Chappelle, and I have Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Change after that. Your whole perspective on life would just be totally different.
Completely. That's what I'm going for.
EJ, who are you smoking with?
Oh man, I think I would definitely smoke with. That's a tough question. Honestly, that's a tough question. I think
If you could have any mentor actor, who would it be? Mine's Denzel Washington.
mentor actor Michael B. Jordan.
Really? Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx?
Yeah, I got Michael B. Jordan over Jamie Foxx because I mean, like now,
I feel like I have to go with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne, yeah, he stays working. He'll tell you how to get a job. That's
That
for
man
sure.
just makes movies on top of movies. It doesn't even matter if they're good. It doesn't
Nah, it
matter.
doesn't.
It doesn't. He just makes them. He doesn't care.
Give me a script. I'll blow some stuff up in the background and flex my muscles.
I'll do maybe other than Denzel Washington. I'll do definitely Will Smith or Jamie Foxx.
Ooh, Will Smith is solid. That's a solid choice.
Will Smith
Will Smith
has
is
made some
solid.
banger ass movies.
I think I would want to smoke with Will Smith. I would add him to my list. So I say Will Smith, Playboy Cardi, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and and Barack Obama.
Yo, smoke with Barack Obama. He used to get faded.
Did he really?
Yo, the leader of our country used to get cooked in college, just
Who
like
didn't?
us.
I'm
That's
sure
crazy.
Joe Biden did too.
Not all, really?
He went to UD.
He's a
UD
bitch.
was like the #1 party school for like 30 years.
So bless me.
God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's some shit. Imagine smoking with Joe Biden. I wouldn't even want to smoke.
He wouldn't be able to talk, bro. He can't talk sober. He'd be like, do what? And then Kamala Harris would be behind him, and she'd be like, oh, he just wants you to pass the blunt.
Jesus.
Kamala said she used to smoke. Do you see that clip? She said that when she was at Howard, she would smoke and listen to Tupac and Snoop Dogg.
Bill Cosby
Kamala
still in
used
jail?
to smoke and has incarcerated 30,000 people in California for smoking.
But she was lying because when she was in college, Tupac and Snoop Dogg weren't even out yet.
Oh, that's right. She was old as shit.
She was just talking. Like, she was in college in the 80s, and they didn't
Wait,
come out till like the
Bill
90s.
Cosby still in jail?
Oh yeah.
For some reason.
You
I don't
mean
even know what
because he was
happened.
raping women?
Was he?
Yeah.
Drugging women. He was drugging.
He
women
got
and
caught.
raping them.
He got caught.
Is that what they call him, like Pill Cosby?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
He
I know
That makes
he got in
sense.
big trouble.
I know you've seen the tweets. I don't care if there's a party at Bill Cosby's house and he's serving drinks. I'm going. That's how they said it. Cause like this summer, I'm not staying inside. I don't care if there's if there's a party at Bill Cosby's house and he's serving drinks.
Honestly,
That's
I don't know
it.
why everybody's in such a rush to get back outside. Like, the majority of y'all wasn't doing anything productive or cool anyway. You're just gonna go sit outside or go down to the mall every day.
Yo,
Talk-
Kyra Cobb
talk
said
that
cap.
real. Talk that real, EJ. Society's fucked up.
And everybody just wants to go outside just because they're selfish. Like, no one's really worried about other people's health. Everybody just wants to.
That's us. Ooh, explain that. That everyone wants to go outside because they're selfish. Woo!
Yeah, I mean,
Woo!
why do you want to go outside? Really? Like, to be honest, what does that even mean? I want to go outside. You can go outside right now. Just wear your mask. No one's keeping you in your house. Everything's open. Like, what's really not open anymore? Especially in some states, you literally everything's open. If you're
Texas
down
is
south,
fully
you
open.
never really had to wear a mask to begin with. It's only people up here that had to really wear a mask, in like Cali.
That's true.
Like everybody's just complaining for no reason. Like I get like sending kids back to school. I'm not really even for that. Like my school, they still haven't told us if we're gonna go back or not. But I'm not a big proponent of sending us back right away. Like, because at the end of the day, my friend that goes to Pitt, he's on the football team. They had like 19 people just get it like 2 weeks ago, and they've been back since for a year now. And like people have just been spiking and getting it. They just move them to a quarantine place, and then they just keep everything else pushing, you know. And it's like, and it keeps happening. Like he got it 2 times already. He tested positive, like last year and this year. So it's like it's obviously not a matter of fact of you get it once and you can't get it again, like everybody thought before, because your antibodies run out. So it's like, what are y'all really trying to do? The big corps are really just trying to make money. Like, there's really no reason to keep the football and any sports playing. You know, just trying to make money. You don't care about the athlete. They would have been good just practicing. They cut the season before, you know. But they got to keep it. So now you got a draft class. If you don't have people playing, how are you gonna have a draft class? And the NBA is gonna lose money. Can't have that, right?
Exactly.
Got to have Amazon open, right? Everybody wants their 1 day delivery. Can't close down Amazon.
Definitely can't close down Amazon. Amazon's doing big numbers right now. That's so crazy that he started that from his fucking garage.
I'll start somewhere.
Didn't he start with like selling college student like books?
Yeah.
He deserves to be where he's at.
It's funny to me, right? Because they have like stores in New York now, like physical stores with like nobody working there. Or they really have one person work there. They say it's nobody, but it's really one person. But literally like they said, hey, look at Walmart. They have stores that sell everything. Let's make an online store that sells everything. Then they do that and they're like, hey, let's make a regular store that sells everything.
Oh yeah, don't Amazon have a store now, like a grocery store?
Yeah, there's a few. Well, they own Whole Foods, so they're technically Whole Foods is their grocery store. But they have Amazon places, and like I've only seen them in New York. And you literally go in, you scan a thing on the app, and then you walk in. And it keeps track of you the entire time you're there. So you just pick up whatever you want, and you just walk out, and it charges you on the way out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's future right there.
Yeah. But I mean, even stuff like that, like that's not why people want to go outside. People don't want to go outside to go shopping at an Amazon store. Every time I've been there, they've been empty.
Oh, you have an Amazon store where you're at?
Nah, I just go to New York pretty often. I like the city, but even the city, like New York, I was there last time I was there was on New Year's, and it was pretty packed, right? And like everybody's like, "Oh, we gotta open back up." Literally every restaurant just built like an outdoor version of the restaurant, and people were just outside. Like it wasn't even something where it's like, "Oh, you can't go out to eat." Like you can go out, you just are sitting inside of an outside like tent with heaters and chairs and lights and waiters, and you're literally in some places we're just inside with the doors open. They like big barn doors are just open.
What the hell?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Like why do you want everything to open up? What would you do if everything opened up tomorrow? What was the first thing you're doing?
What's the first thing I'm doing? Shit, I'm kind of on the same type of time as you. If I'm being honest, I'm pretty much doing the same thing that I would do any other day. Like there's really nothing different. Like exactly what you're saying. There's really nothing holding anything back. Like you could go outside right now.
Yeah, like right now, everybody that's watching this, leave the stream, go outside, get a breath of air.
Take a nice deep breath, fresh air.
Fresh air. It's good for your soul. But then come back and like the video.
All right. It's time, EJ.
It is time. Yeah.
I like this. We definitely need to do this again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Shoot, my bad.
You wanna like shout out anything or like shout out yourself or anything? Before we go?
Yeah, good. Shout out. You can follow me on Instagram. This is the real underscore guap. THGUAPP. You know. Other than that, yeah. Like and subscribe to my friend EJ. Spence too.
Yes, sir.
Keep up with the podcast. It's looking pretty nice.
Got you.
I
This
enjoyed
is
it and I was on it. So.
episode 6 of like 5,000.
Exactly. Many more episodes to come. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys on Thursday, same time, same place.
Yes,
We have a
sir.
special guest, Drayson Little. Very special guest.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, B, for being on the podcast, bro. We appreciate it.
Yes, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of
Yeah,
course,
bro.
man.
I like this.
We'll
Word.
catch you
Well,
later,
everybody-
dog.
Yep, of course. I'll catch you guys.
See you, man.
out.
Yep, later.
All right. Thank you, everybody who came to watch. We really appreciate it. Always love having the viewers and everybody interacting in chat, even though we can't read chat all the time. But when we can, we do.
Oh yeah, of course. Make sure to hit the like button.
Hit
You know,
that like
with the
button.
likes right
Smash
now,
it
make
with
sure
a
to hit that
hammer.
like button before we go.
Smash
It's
the
free.
fuck out of that shit.
For every like that we get, we'll get one like.
What? What did he say?
For every like that we get, we'll get one like.
Yeah. All right. Peace out, everybody.